So anyway, to continue, sweets are my weakness, you know, so since I had already done something I won't normally do very often, broken my rule of only having only having organic, non-GMO food, I wanted to break it with sweets. So I went to a convenience store and bought Grandma's chocolate chunk cookies. And I wound up getting also, while I was waiting a long time for a bus, chocolate, a mint colada at Dunkin' Donuts, a small one with whipped cream. And I didn't wake up sick, and the world didn't come to an end, you know. But that being said, today I'm only having my shake, which I already had. I had an apple and a pear that I shared with Omar. And this is my normal soup base, as I've told you guys about a zillion times. I added a can of organic green beans to it, a can of Amy's organic Thai coconut soup. I discovered at my friend's last summer. Well, I discovered it at, you know, we go to the co-op, whatever, you know, so I discovered it at that store, but I mean, I discovered it while I was at his house. My usual little bit of Bragg olive oil, a little bit of Sasha Inchi oil, and a little bit of organic sour cream. And then every non-sweet spice that I own now, all simply organic spices. I recently bought coriander, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, and minced onion, or onion, yeah, minced onion, whatever. And then, so I added all four of those, and then my usual crushed red pepper, ginger, cumin. Oh, you know what? I forgot to add turmeric. I didn't see it in there. I wonder what happened to it. I didn't have my turmeric. That's okay. I have plenty of soup then. So I'm cooling it today because I splurged big time yesterday. Today I'm just going to have that shake. And then the rest of the day I'm just going to have this soup. No tortillas, no almond butter, no nuts, no nothing like that. And I do add fat to my soup, and that's what makes it so damn good. But I'm eating so healthy. I mean, I can add healthy fats to it and not even worry about calories or whatnot. Thing I have to cool it on and learn how to portion size and make sure I limit myself are all those nuts and seeds and stuff, pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds and various nuts, almonds, pecans, cashews that I buy. They're so damn yummy. I buy them online or I buy them in the store, but I can get fat off of those. This is delicious. I gotta call Cheryl. I don't know if I'll get through to her. Find out what, if anything, she found out from my mom's social worker. What's going on? I don't know. When you're in those places, I know this is true because it's happened to me with my mom on past occasions. She'll think she's getting out. They don't want to get upset. They'll tell you you're getting out soon or whatever, but soon can be, you know what I mean? They just tell you what they think you want to hear. So came home, the dogs were excited to see me. My roommate had already gone to bed. I came up pretty late. These are the polka dot dog treats that got, they have barley flour, rye flour, potato flour, all natural unsalted peanut butter, rolled oats, carob chips, beets, eggs, molasses, canola oil, cinnamon, and beet powder. Hand baked in our kitchen that also cooks with peanuts. And like my new friend or my new whatever woman I met said they're not completely vegan because they have eggs in them. But they're pretty close to being vegan. And as I was going to say before I got so rudely interrupted because my memory ran out on the camera because I had to delete a video or two. I'm admittedly depressed. We already know that. We also know that I'm not at all a proponent of, especially for me, going on psych meds for depression or whatnot. So, the good thing is, however, that being said, I do need to get counseling, even if only for secret, secret reasons of it has to look like I'm getting counseling or I could lose my benefits. Although that takes years. They don't even review your case for 3 to 5 years, and I'm not even at a year and a half mark. They don't even take a look at you for at least 3 years. And they say it right in the thing. Reevaluation in 3 to 5 years. So, but other than that, I really should talk to somebody anyway. It's going to be warm out soon. I've made no secret of the fact I absolutely hate the fucking winter. I hate the cold. I really belong in LA. Where I lived from 2001 to 2012. It's just, there's nothing there for me, but that's where I belong, just weather-wise. Any place similar. There are other places that might be hot year-round, but then they're too hot. LA is balanced. I think Florida's pretty balanced too. So it'll be warm. And I'm in my element when it's warm. I'm happier naturally, just naturally happier when it's warm. Remember, it's not even the snow or the sleet or anything I hate, it's the cold. I hate the fucking cold. I don't even like it to be a little bit cold. Tomorrow, it's supposed to warm up a little, and then it's going to be cold again. I hope I hear from that woman. She's kind of interesting. And we at least start off with having empathy in common. Because you can be empathetic about people, but when you really can put yourself in the place of animals and be empathetic about them, then you really have empathy up the yin-yang. And as I've told you, my Celta friend really did, and admittedly so. She was not a very empathetic person. So I suppose when she was seeming like she was caring, she was maybe pretending a little bit. Because then different things would come out that indicated to me that she wasn't quite as caring as she was presenting herself to be. Quite as empathetic, understanding where I'm coming from. Yet I was forever understanding where she's coming from. I mean, I tried not to make her feel like less when she had not a penny to her name, and I had to pay for every little thing, and, I'd even offer her money sometimes so she wouldn't be forced to ask me for it, or, so that's me putting myself in her shoes, and it kind of sucked, the dynamics difference between us, but I didn't feel like she was really able to put herself in my shoes as much, but I don't know. In the end, we both made mistakes. The problem with that friendship, in a nutshell, even the problem with my relationship with Donald, or my relationship with Hope, his mom, in a nutshell, I can sum this up. I can sum people up so perfectly. Or it's just such, in a nutshell, the problem with me and my shelter friend, the problem with me and Hope, the problem with me and Donald, I was perfectly 100% willing to admit my mistakes, admit that I was wrong, admit my part in messing things up, and none of them were. Get it? In the end, she wanted me to she wouldn't acknowledge anything. It's all my fault. Donald the same, it's all my fault. Hope would never, ever, ever admit she was wrong about anything. And I got tired of getting this, and I would bow down. I wouldn't apologize. I would talk to her again because she'd be giving me the silent treatment, even though I knew I was right, that she had been wrong, I'd be the first one to try to make up, and to her I was apologizing even though I didn't say it. She even said to me before, well, you finally apologized. No, I didn't. I just didn't want to get the silent treatment from you. I'm living with you and it's hell for me. I never said I was sorry. I just wanted to make peace. I wanted to have peace. Get it? So that's the difference. I admit I'm fucked in the head. I admit I have problems. I admit, I admitted it when I fucked up with Joe. I told Joe later, I was like, I thought you wanted me to leave. He's like, oh, I didn't mean that. You know me, Laura. I get mad and then I get over it, I'm like, I didn't know I'd behave so badly because I'm sick, and but that's the difference between Joe, and that's maturity, too. He forgave me without expecting me to fucking act like I'm the most horrible person in the world, or to grovel or beg. You get it? Donald would never admit he did anything wrong, neither would Hope, and pretty much neither would my shelter friend. Because in the end I was apologizing, but I was also explaining why I had behaved the way I did. Because in the end with her, in the past, I had done things and I felt they were just, I was triggered and it was not her fault, and I was really 100% sorry I'd behaved that way, thank you for forgiving me, blah, 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 whatever. Okay? But in the end, I felt like she had been wrong as well, and she was not going to admit that worth shit. To her, if I'm explaining, well, yeah, I shouldn't have behaved this way, however, you triggered me and you did this, oh, you just turn it around to you, and, when you stop being the center of your own universe or whatnot, you still talk blah, blah, blah. No, I don't have to just apologize unless I'm just totally wrong. Like, say you cheat on somebody sexually, you cheat on somebody. You're totally wrong. There's no excuse. So you just apologize, and then you see if they'll forgive you or not, your mate will forgive you or not. But sometimes you behave in a certain way because somebody else behaved in a certain way, and it triggers you. So maybe you behaved in a worse way, but it doesn't let the other person who triggered you, provoked you, whatnot, completely off the hook. And that is what 18 emails back and forth. She wanted me to she wanted me to acknowledge that I'd been a horrible friend, and I didn't feel like I had. So, and Hope the same way, and Donald was a lost cause. Now, I would like to briefly discuss Donald, Hope, and Omar. I would never sit here and lie and say Donald and Hope treated that dog badly, Omar. They didn't. They pampered him like crazy, spoiled him even too much, okay? They spoiled him. They let him have what he wanted, and, they spoiled him. When Omar and I were on the way to the police station after I had been the first person, he went to the vets for the first time in years. I stopped somebody, or who knows, when I was in a desperate situation. Maybe someone had talked to me, whatnot, I told them my situation. I think maybe I wanted to know where the police station was, I don't know, whatever it was. They found out my situation. Know what they said? Here I am. They brought up that biblical story with the two women, whose child it is, because one said, okay, we'll cut the child in half, or the other one said, just give him up. The reason they brought up this story, because I was saying, I'm torn. Omar loves Donald and Hope so much. Should I take Omar and blah, 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 whatever? Because I'm thinking of Omar. Omar loves them so much. And so they brought up that story. Well, if you love Omar, you should let him stay with them. Guy in the shelter later, months and months and months later, said the same thing. Well, if Omar loved them so much, you shouldn't have taken him. Well, just like there's a lot of sides to anything, there's sides to this as well. On the one hand, I used to always say, Omar loves them so much. Even there was this woman, she passed away from, she suffered really, really awful as a kid. And the injuries that she suffered as a kid wound up affecting her adult life as well, like physically, and in the end she wasn't strong enough and she passed away. But she had money. She was rich, relatively so, I don't know the deal, but she wanted to set me and Omar up in her city and blah, 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 whatever, and help, and said I could make money writing online, and but to make a long story short, it was never a question in her mind. If Donald had treated me the way that he did not deserve Omar, period. Okay? Remember, this was before he strangled me, because I left the next day after he strangled me. Okay, this was before, but I was always like, but Omar loves him. I can't take Omar from Donald. I love Omar, and I want Omar to be happy, okay? Same thing when I was talking to these people. Well, if you love your dog and he was happy with your ex, you should have let him stay. Same thing the stupid guy in the shelter said. On the surface, you can look at it that. Other people will say no, because if he would hurt you, you never know. He might turn against Omar. You never know. There's something that rises above all of that, people. It rises above everything. And in the back of my mind, I'm sure subconsciously or whatnot, it was the determining factor. I know that it was. I've mentioned it in videos that are on private out here, okay? Hope couldn't stand Donald. She couldn't stand her son, okay? Constantly. Every fucking morning. Did he drink last night? And I have to decide whether I'll betray him or whatnot, or else if I decided to drink a little bit with him, I'm influencing him, I'm helping. No, he'd do it anyway, Hope, and you know that. That's just a cop. You're just ridiculous. He'd do it anyway. I'm not forcing him to do anything, and he begs me because he's in money. He wants me to split it or pay a third, have a third of it or whatnot, which he'd drink all of his in one night, and I'd ration mine out slowly. I didn't want to drink with him anyway. I wanted to do my little weird shit where I take off and wander around the city or wander around Hollywood while sneaking alcohol out of apple juice bottles or whatever that nobody would ever know I was drinking, because it's not like I'm falling down drunk, and ride the buses and whatnot. I didn't want to drink with him, so I'd drink a little bit with him, and then I'd have the booze for a later time. But in any case, it wasn't my fault. He was drinking, and me paying part. But you see what was going on? Did he drink last night? It was such a waste of man. He's a waste of a man. He's a drunk. He's no good. Another thing she would constantly say, oh my, I need to get out of here. Believe me, if I'm saving up money, I need to get out of here. I need to get away from him, blah, 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 blah. I could see to the future. She might meet a guy. She might become fed up with him. She would leave. Donald could barely wipe his own ass on his own, and I will sit there and say that till my deathbed. Donald could barely wipe his own ass on his own. He depended on his mother, okay? He would have Omar sleep upstairs with him, and Omar loved him, and blah, 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 whatever, and he'd cuddle with Omar all the time, and he'd walk him, and but when he'd wake up, and he'd just throw Omar in the kitchen, wouldn't even bother to put him out the patio to the bathroom. Donald, and sometimes Donald would endanger Omar accidentally, or whatnot, okay? I had visions of Donald, because remember, he's on Social Security disability for psych problems, just like I am now, but I wasn't then. I've only been on this now for less than a year and a half, okay? My whole life I worked. You don't get Social Security disability unless you worked a shitload, and I get over $1,000 a month, so that tells you how much I worked in my life, okay? It's based on how much you worked. Someone who didn't work that much might only get $500 a month. I get over 1,000. I worked my whole life. I mean, obviously when I was busting my ass and wound up graduating with honors from college, I was only working a little bit part-time. When I say my whole life, I mean my adult life. I even worked when I was a teenager briefly. I even got my first job when I was 14. I got fired from it. I was in a deli thing, and it was like a little shop, and I got fired for being too shy. Remember back then, I also hated myself. I felt like a burden to my dad and his girlfriend. I had to move in because my mom couldn't take care of me, and I hated myself and blamed myself for her illness, and I had horrible acne, and I had the body. The one who fired me, he used to say I'd ride my bike 2 miles home or 2 miles there to get there, and he'd be like, watch the traffic because they'll sure be watching you, you know, shit like that. But he fired me then because I was too shy, and I was too shy with the customers, and I was nervous, and he fired me. But that's neither here nor there. I worked my whole life, and that's why I'm getting over $1,000 in my Social Security disability right now. I'd never been on Social Security disability in my life, and when I went on welfare in 2009, because I had never been on welfare before in my life either. It's important to note that, okay? Donald had been on Social Security disability, unbeknownst to me, for 10 years before I met him. He didn't tell me, he didn't bother to tell me. He made the show of getting a job that lasted exactly 1 year because he was fucking over Social Security at the same time, didn't tell him he was working, and you can only get away with that for a certain amount of time, I guess, and the time ran out. Plus he couldn't handle the job. He just did that as a show to keep me, and then by then I'd already gained weight, and I was there, and I'd moved there, and it was too late, and yada yada, you know the whole story. Donald depended upon his mom. Plus Donald's just out of it. He's like, plus think about how much he was drinking. Even his mom would say, one of these nights he's going to roll over on that dog. I know. There's nothing that I could do about that. But at least Donald's mom made sure Omar always got fed, always got water, always, you know what I mean? I can't even imagine if it was just Donald and Omar. And I could look to the future. If this woman can't stand her alcoholic loser of a son, but she's also a Christian, she's ashamed of him, but she still loves him, he's her son, you know? So she's all torn and just wants to get the fuck out of there. Don't you think at some point she probably would have? I even said that to her at one point. I said, you said you're going to leave. Oh, don't make me feel guilty. Yeah, but what about Omar, Hope? Don't make me feel guilty, see? So in the end, yeah, sure, while he was with his mom, Omar was having a great grand old time, a good home until, you know, really good home. Even got to have stuff he shouldn't be eating. They didn't take him to the vets, but he was a healthy dog. He's still a healthy dog, you know. I could see the future. The future is Omar adored these people, but I learned something anyway. Dogs adapt. Omar wound up adoring my mom and sleeping, you know, and forgetting all about me and Donald until I came there. And then he was happy because I was there. He'd be happy for everybody. He wants strangers he meets. He turns into psycho dog when they leave. They don't understand because he's friendly at first, and then the second they turn to leave or if they visit or something, and I'm like, I'm sorry, he wants everyone to be with them, and they get a little taken aback because they don't expect it. It's unexpected. Hope wasn't, I didn't foresee her staying forever with Donald. Especially once I was gone out of the picture. Because regardless of what they said, deep down I know they kind of liked me having me there. And I was their gopher, and I was just somebody to come between them, and just somebody different to talk to and different, you know what I mean? So I just didn't see Hope staying there, and Donald being with Omar by himself, I saw the future. I didn't want, it's another reason I didn't want to leave him with them. Because they did not get along. Donald was drinking more and more and more. And one of these days, because I witnessed it, you know, in small ways, Omar was going to get hurt because of Donald's negligence. So, and it's just like Angel now. You know, Angel is loving her new family. What did my mom say in the hospital? I said, well, Angel's happy in her foster home. Mom, no, she's not, Laura. She misses me. And you'd think in her insanity she doesn't think about her dog. The first thing out of her mouth besides, oh, you're here, you came, was, how's Angel? Okay, so she does. The dog woman's like, well, just don't mention. I didn't have to. She did. You know, I'm not going to lie to her. I'm not going to say I'm taking Angel. I'm not going to say I have Angel with me. I don't lie, period. Do I fudge the truth a little bit? Will I say that it takes me 3 hours to get to my mom when it really takes me an hour and a half, or vice versa if I'm going somewhere? Yeah, because I don't want anyone to try to figure out where I live. So, as far as you're concerned, it takes me hours and hours to get anywhere. But it really does take me like 3 hours to get to my mom's. I'm just saying. However long it takes me to get anywhere. But I don't lie, and I'm not going to pretend I have Angel when I don't. And I wasn't going to bring up Angel. And when my mom did, she's like, well, you're going to take her, right? And I'm like, please, Mom, don't. I'm not going to lie to her. Because dog woman's like, well, why don't you just lie to her so she don't upset her? Because that's how this world is. Everyone just, oh, let's lie, let's tell little white lies, let's do whatever, you know. I didn't want to. It's the bottom line. It's not to be mean to my mom. It's because I'm not going to pretend I have her dog or I'm taking her dog, you know. Some people would. If their person was committed they would just forever, oh yeah, I have Angel and she's fine, and I'm not going to do that. Fuck that shit. My mom's going to know the truth. And the truth is, if circumstances were different and I had access to my mom's money and I could just have security, why not? I could have Angel and Omar together by myself and in a place, you know, but that's not how it works out. Or even if my mom Marion wasn't in the picture, my mom would have power to have Angel, you know, taken care of in the meantime. But Angel is happy, but she might not even be able to stay with those people. They might not even want her, so. Because she's only supposed to be a foster, you know. So that's where things stand. I was so trained. It really sucks. So my heart goes out to any of you, if anyone's ever watched my video and they're in those situations, trapped like I was, you know. You think the guy's going to change. You think he's going to stop doing whatever. I mean, and you put yourself, you're nothing. I still feel like I'm nothing. That hasn't changed. I still hate myself for whatever. For things I've done in the past, for things I'm not going to tell you about. So I told you how I feel about that. If you do shameful things that I'm not going to elaborate upon, because why should I, you know? But if you don't stop yourself, if you just continue, I'm talking about even these people, if they're messing with their own children, you know, molesting their own children, whatnot. But even Joe, my friend, he said it's one if they stop. But if you continue on and on and on doing it, you know, there might be redemption for you if you stop or you realize you've done wrong and you stop. But if you never stop and you just think, oh, I'm bad, I might as well do worse and worse and worse things, you know, you can go, and that's why I don't like that Christian. I remember being a little girl and not liking, seeing it's ridiculous, the thing, well, if you think about something, you think about doing something, it's as bad as if you did it. Are you fucking kidding me? how many of us imagine doing all sorts of things? You're telling me imagining something, imagining or thinking about it? That's ridiculous. That's why I can't stand the fucking Bible. I mean, to take it literally. It's not the same thing. I was with this hot guy when I was in my 20s, and I was still a virgin. I was like 24, 23 or something. And I was making out with him in his house, and I had met him through one of my personal ads, and I made up for him for hours, and he looked right at me. He goes, you know what, I can see why men rape. You think he wasn't imagining raping me, but he didn't do it, okay? You're going to tell me him imagining raping me is the same as if he had done it? What the fuck's up with the Bible that oh, it's as bad if you think about something as if you actually do it? What bullshit. We might as well all kill ourselves if you're going to tell me that thinking about doing something is as bad as doing it. You know? It's just ridiculous to me. It's always been ridiculous for as long as I can remember. I've never understood that at all. Never understood that. I mean, we might as well just fucking leap off a cliff if you're going to tell me that thinking about doing something is as bad as doing it. You know? But back to shame or whatnot. You can either semi-forgive yourself for shameful things you've done, or just say, well, I'm a bad person anyway, I might as well do worse and worse things. See? That's how I look at it. Now, I can say that in theory, and you should forgive yourself and whatnot, but I don't. I don't forgive myself for anything. I don't, you know, but I'm still here, even if barely. I just watched Mick Jagger, I guess. I don't know when it happened, but if it happened recently, I don't keep tabs on everything, but his longtime lover, he says his best friend, whatever, she committed suicide. And then I said to my roommate, I said, he said, oh, well, she was $6 million in debt. I'm like, yeah, but Mick Jagger's got to have money up the yin yang. I mean, my roommate's like, yeah, she probably kept it from him. But we don't know that she really killed herself over that. You know, you could say, blah, 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 I killed myself because I was $6 million in debt. Maybe we could just declare bankruptcy or whatnot. But in the end, it probably goes much deeper to depression. But I'm sure it just shows you, you know, he's with her, and, you know, and he's famous, but it can be non-famous. You think you know somebody, whether it's your child, your friend, your lover, your wife, your husband, and then they just commit suicide like that sometimes, and it's not expected. It's sudden, and you don't know what's going on. But you don't know what's going on in anybody's head, and you don't know why people feel the way they do about themselves, or what, you know. That's my take on that. I think I'm going to go get more soup. I need to talk to Cheryl, find out if she knows anything that's going on with my mom, who's back and forth, is driving me a little nuts. I think she's better and she's not. When she says they won't let me talk to you, I have a feeling it's not Steph. I have a feeling that it's the voices in her head, because while she's talking to me, she's doing what I experienced so often when I was a kid. She's talking to me and seeming calm and whatnot, but then you hear her under her breath talking to the voices in her head. Yeah, Laura, blah, blah, I had to sign a release to talk, blah, blah, blah. You know? So, I don't know. Sometimes even I'll tell you something that I didn't ever tell you guys. Even when she was normal at home, long before this happened recently with her, even in the summer or whatnot, sometimes I would think that I hear her doing that, what I remember from a kid, because I'm very attuned to it, like talking, but I wouldn't call her on it. I wouldn't say, what are you doing? But it makes me wonder if sometimes, even when she was so normal, she was still pretending a little bit, or still slipping into, I don't know. All I know is I would think my mind was playing tricks on me, because I would feel like she was doing that, but then she wasn't sick, and she wasn't acting sick, and so I just let it go. But now I clearly heard it today over the phone. She's talking to me in a regular calm, whatever, talking, but every once in a while, which she's talking to the elusive them. So I have a feeling it's they, it's not staff at that hospital, because I don't think staff's telling her she can't talk to me. I think it's the gods and the goddesses and whatnot. And yesterday she was, I'm doing better now. I realized that it was Marion, because remember she was blaming everything that Marion was doing on the Marion's being influenced by the goddess Methuselah or whatever, who has been persecuting my mom for past, what, 30 years, since, so 30 more years. So I had hope yesterday thinking, oh, she's wised up, she knows that it's not, but now today it's different again. I need to find out if Cheryl knows anything at all that she can clear up. Because every time I talk to her, she's like, no, we're still having that meeting. I'm like, well, my mom says you're not. It's supposed to be Friday. I mean, today's Wednesday. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I am hoping I hear from that woman I met last night. She's vegan. She obviously has empathy up the yin-yang, because she's doing this thing for the animals, fighting, and caring, and I had conversations with her, and she's really involved in it, more involved than I will be or can be or whatnot. I have my own shit I'm dealing with, and I'm not, I can do a little bit, but I'm not going to burn myself out doing it. I don't have to, I can volunteer here and there. She wanted my email just in case something comes up that I might want to go and petition or animal rights or whatnot, and she can at least contact me. In the beginning, I didn't even give her my email, but in the end, it was only us left. The other two women at the table had left, and she and I had been talking. We'd gotten more food, and we were sharing the food, and she's like, well, can I just have your email just in case I want to reach you, and I'm like, okay, sure. But when I first sat down and she's asking me for my email, and I haven't said 2 words to her, my radar went up, and I was like, oh I don't know if I'm going to even like this person. I don't want to give her my email. I said, well, I'm doing such and such with this. I'm going door to door with so-and-so, soon, and I agreed to that, because it's just, but I don't want to spread myself too thin. I can't, because I didn't know what she wanted my email for, what she wanted me to get involved in, all kinds of shit. But then I got to know her a little bit, and in the end, it was us talking together, and I decided to give her my email. Never know. She doesn't live that far away from here. Maybe we can become friends. I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. I can't really give myself to anything, anybody, whatnot. I'm worried as hell about my mom, I still do this because this is my thing that I always do. It saves me a little bit. It saves me a little bit. This might run out, but I'm going to show you guys that I'm going to give Omar a cookie. I'll see if we can give Omar a cookie. Come on, Omar. Want a cookie? Come on, want a cookie? I was telling my roommate, Omar is so ridiculously stubborn. Angel wasn't. Angel would go up on her hind legs no matter what. She'd even hop. She could hop. It's the cutest thing. I have videos out of Angel and Omar, if any of you watch. So if I could have taken her, sure. My friend says, well, you're not really fond of her, but when I was thinking about when I didn't know what was going to happen to my mom in the summer, my shelter grandma was like, I was like, well, I don't really like Angel all that much. She's like, you'll grow to love her, and it's true, I would. And they would have both slept in my bed here, and I would have given her a good home if I could have, but I can't. At least my roommate proved what a wonderful, on top of everything else, what a wonderful guy he is. I clean his house. He's living here alone with a dog that sheds like crazy, and a lot of people live alone. I clean his house. I need to scrub down the bathroom. I'm slowly cleaning his house. But I'm doing that for selfish reasons too, because I'm living here now, and I want to make it more homey. I want to make it our house, our whatever you want to call it. our gigantic house-like apartment, you know. Come here, want a cookie? Omar loves these cookies, so does my roommate. Come here, want a cookie? Come here, Omar, want a cookie? Yeah, I'm upstairs. Come here. A cookie? You will never go on your hind legs. You're a brat. You're a brat. You know how to go on your hind legs. I don't think you could ever be trained worth shit. The only thing you ever did was because that's easy, is get the stuff off the coffee table, which is the cutest thing. But come here. Give her a cookie. Come here. Come on, you can have a cookie. Come on. Come on. You like these. Come here. Cookie. Come on. Omar. Come here. We'll go downstairs in a second. Come here, little cookie. You love these. Here. Come on. Come on, cookie. Cookie. Come on. Cookie. Omar. Come on. Get the cookie. Get the cookie. Eat the cookie. Eat the cookie. Eat the cookie, Omar. Shy, Omar. Eat the cookie. Eat the cookie. Eat the cookie. Eat the cookie. You're a good boy. Another one? Another cookie? Come. Cookie? Come on. What do you think would happen if what can I do with the cookie? Get the cookie off the box, off the VitaCost box. Get it. Right there. Right there. Look. Get it. Get it. Get it. Gotta go eat more soup.